Shamika, and we are here for our in-person Love, Lust, Sacrifice event. And as you guys know or may not know, I am Dear Shamika. I'm here with Dear Shamika, the podcast, where we not only challenge perspectives, but we make bossing up into a lifestyle. So we're going to basically introduce ourselves starting from my right to my left. This is a collaborative effort with different podcasters, with different podcasts across the city. So make sure that we are cross subscribing to each and every one of them. So you guys can go first.
All right, so look, my name is Tez the Five. I am half of the 5100 podcast. I also have my own channel, Tez the Five the channel. And look, wherever you subscribe, wherever follow us on Instagram, Facebook, we everywhere. Twitter, or X now. Y'all know it's right. Terrible place. TikTok. So follow us, the 5100 podcast. We there.
Okay. And I forgot to mention, I'm also on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, everything is Dear Shamika. That's DearShamica.
And I am the other half of the 5100 podcast, CJ100, also known as the Pookie Hybrid. That's my channel. And we just, here to show support to the ladies doing their thing, you know what I mean? So just here to have a good conversation. So welcome to the live, y'all.
So
and I am Keisha. My podcast is Bigger Than Memphis, and we are actually recording live in my studio in Bigger Than Me podcast. So podcasting center. So this where we're doing everything. I'm so excited to start this off. This will not be a one-time thing. So make sure you all keep subscribing to everybody. Make sure you keep going to our pages. I'm Bigger Than Me on all platforms, BTMBS on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube and all streaming platforms. We're Bigger Than Memphis. So I'm excited about this conversation.
And shout out to Keisha for providing this space.
Man, shout out to Keisha. She's absolutely, thank y'all. Keisha like an angel that's cooking.
I got myself some applause.
You better applause. Can I get out of here? But are you guys ready to get this conversation started?
Cook.
Oh, yeah. And then we want to say thank you to our live audience. You all did not have to be here, but
thank you.
Audience.
Okay, let me pull up these questions on the phone. So I will be answering questions, but I'm also going to be the moderator. So do you guys want me to just jump from person to person, or we going through a straight line and answering the questions?
Well,
however y'all want to do.
Go with the flow.
Right? Whatever we do. Yeah.
Okay. So as you guys know, the name of this event is Love, Lust, Sacrifice. So I read a quote online that says lust feels like love until it's time to make sacrifices. And to me, that meant during kind of like the spark phase or the infatuation phase, everything feels good when issues are getting real, when real situations expose people's intentions. So that's what that meant to me. So this is our first question. How can individuals navigate the balance between love, lust, and sacrifice in the early stages of relationships?
Number one, communication. That'll solve 90% of your problem. Making sure that you paying attention to the red flag. Some people see them waving and be like, nah, that ain't no red flag.
Waving.
And it's clear as day. It's
flapping in there.
And just going wild.
Yeah.
So that'll be my main two. Communication on top, though. That's how you know if somebody's serious with you. That's how you know if somebody really, if their intentions are clear. And like I said, the red flags will come when you ain't walking what you talking, and somebody gonna see it. So you just gotta pay attention.
I would say the way that you can navigate that is to definitely have a spiritual base. Like with lust, not to say lust is a bad thing, but lust is a bad thing if it's not your wife or husband. That's just, if we're going by Christian texts, which I do, right? If you're lusting after something, that's not a positive thing, in my opinion. Now, lusting after your wife is different.
Right.
I've been married before. You dig what I'm saying? So I know how that walking through the kitchen shit go. You dig what I'm saying?
Facts.
But if you're lusting after something that is not something that you have basically aligned yourself with for the long term, it's not a good thing. So if it's lust anywhere in the equation, that man or woman is not balanced. So I would watch out for that.
Kind of piggyback off what Ted said. Yeah, the red flags are always like real obvious. And if it ain't falling into place, if it ain't clicking, don't try to force it. So like when you trying to spend time with that person and it's like they just not getting it together, it ain't gonna never work because people make time for what they really want. So when you trying to just force it, it ain't gonna be right. It'll fall into place.
And I think over time you realize whether, because in the initial stages of dating, I think a lot of people mistake lust for love. But over time, when you give people, whether it be men or women, because a lot of time I know as a woman, sometimes we're hard on men, but I've seen women do it as well. When people provide what their expectations are, they want you to give them what they expect, but they aren't willing to give you what you expect. So I think love is making sacrifice based upon communication. If a person is communicating their expectations to you and it's not hurting you, then what's the issue? And sometimes we maximize something that's so small to do. And we'll say, man, that's too much. I ain't doing it. But, if it makes the person happy that you're dating, like, what's the issue with actually, making those sacrifices? And I know sometimes people prematurely judge people, meaning that you don't really know what you get until you get it. So lust can make us get into situations that we felt like initially, oh, this person was this. But a lot of times people put up their representative to get what they want. And then once they get it, it's like, oh, I can be who I really am.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. Can I speak to that? Real quick. Because that thing, right? So the thing can be what you as a woman want or as a man want, right? It's like it blinds us from what the actual goal is. And if you focused on that, like, it just throws everything out of whack. I've been there several times, more times than I would like to admit. But if you don't, it's like God put in place a mechanism for us to not get caught up in it, but we want to do our own thing. So when we out here freely doing what we want to do, there's consequences to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just kind of how I look at it. Like, lust, it's a lot, but if we can try to get them urges under control, we'll probably get better results.
That's right.
Okay, so what does lust, and I'm kind of going off script, but what are some indications that is just lust? Like, what are some signs that, oh, this is in love, this is the lustful situation?
If I kick you out at 3 a.m, that's usually a clear sign. We get done and you just go. That's usually one clear sign. Another sign would be I call you at certain times of the day.
Yeah.
7, usually about 10, 9 with a key.
Between 7 and 10.
Yeah, 7 to 10, because by 10 you should be coming over. But
right.
Lust is just one, like CJ said, it's just one of those things where it go back to communication again. Sometimes we see clear as day, men or women, that this person really not interested in me, but we try to make it happen.
Right.
And that's when the issue come in, because
the ego.
Now we got, I believe this, you believe this, and somewhere in the middle is the truth, but ain't nobody willing to get there. So
it's that forced situation again. And then we'll make up stuff in our head like, oh, okay, he called me every day between that time. So that means he want to be with me. Not thinking like these just booty call times. Like, he on that call to you at that time. It don't matter how frequent. It don't matter if it's 2 times a week. It just don't matter. You know what that time is. And we just blind ourselves. We're like, girl, he really love me because he always want me there. Yeah. For that.
Well, what about on the flip side, because we answered geared towards women, but what about the flip side? How do men know
When she only call you when a bill due.
Most men do not care about that. Most men be with it.
Are we talking about
Yeah.
lust though? Like lust from how do we know a woman just want our meat stick?
Exactly.
Or money.
Well, money.
Lust would be considered money.
Yeah.
Lusting after your money.
I'm looking at what you can do for me, not who you are.
That's tricky though.
Yeah. Because go ahead.
I was gonna say because I don't have a problem with a woman wanting a man that can provide for her.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, provision and immaculate living is two different things. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I think it
I think I like immaculate living.
Nah,
That's what I don't like. I'm living immaculately. I think I like that.
Slash tricking. That's right. That's what he was.
it's the same family.
Right.
Immaculate living.
Y'all know this, right?
I'm not against it. I'm not against because
Lord, do it for me.
do what you can do. You know what I'm saying? But everybody can't. What they say, everybody ain't able.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking for a certain lifestyle, you have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Like if you want a guy that can do that for you, he needs to be there. Don't try to force him to be in that. I don't have a problem with a woman looking for something. I've never had that issue. But what are you willing to do to facilitate it?
Wow.
Like, are you just trying to be there for the ride? Because if that's the case, you ain't gonna make it long. Eventually, he's gonna kick you off the ride.
Facts.
So what are you gonna do to facilitate it? That's the difference. I would think men would look for. Like, okay, is she trying to be a part of it, or is she just trying to go along for the ride?
Mm-hmm.
And the way you can tell that is if she's always got her hand out. She's always asking for something versus offering something.
Yeah. And that I had to learn that real late in my life. Like, I never got gifts from girlfriends. So I felt like that's just like, we don't do that. Women don't give gifts. Until I started getting gifts, and it's like, oh, okay, this can be a mutual thing.
Right.
So once you realize when somebody cares that it's mutual, that they willing to help you grow, and they willing to, oh, your birthday just as special as mine, then that's when it make a difference.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
Right there. She wouldn't do what you willing to do to make this thing be something.
Facts.
Yep.
Okay, so since we are on social media and we are streaming live, in your experience, how has technology impacted modern dating dynamics, and what role does it play in fostering genuine connection?
Audience, if y'all want to come and talk, y'all can always come and talk.
Does anybody from the audience want to get on the mic and do y'all have any questions, or y'all want to elaborate on how y'all feel about it? The mic is out.
Mic right there.
Somebody may be blessed. From the
anointed.
Well, if you ready, just come on up.
I'm about to say.
But I feel like social media gives everybody this facade of what love is supposed to look like, but that be fake love. And then people only put the good things that's happening until all the shit hit the fan. Then when all the shit hit the fan, they got to come out and say, yeah, I've been cheating for 12 years, but we gonna work it out, when you've been showing us that y'all done had a perfect relationship on the internet this whole time. So now people trying to reach for it, and the whole time y'all got this other stuff going on. So I think it do make people go for unrealistic standards, and expectations, because love is just not happy all the time.
Right.
And it ain't always I like you all the time. Of course, I love you all the time, but I might not like you for a little while, for about 3-4 hours. But I love you though. So they don't show that part on social media. They just want to show you the happy stuff. So it messes up.
So my let me reread the question y'all have. Okay, so basically about technology, I feel that technology creates spark love. And when I talk about spark love, we're so excited about the persona, because people, like, ultimately, like, if you look up Facebook and things like that, that's virtual reality, and you can create your own virtual reality where you're only showing people what you want them to see. So people only see the good in you. They only see the accolades, or whatever you choose to show them. Like, we got filters, we got Snapchat, we got you can change your clothes on the internet. You can make it seem like you got an outfit on that you ain't got on. You can change your background to make it look like you're in Jamaica. you can do whatever you want online, and you can really just manipulate online. It's people that have added me. I'm like, you in chat, you know. So you don't even know. You don't even know where these people are. That you're buying into, which kind of creates, kind of steps to our first point where we talked about lust. So you start to lust after a persona without knowing the reality of who you're dealing with. And also, when you look at online, people come in abundance. So you're not organically meeting a person. So now it's like, let's say it's 20, if you a male or female, it's 20 different girls or 20 different guys that your attention span is taken by, and everybody sounds better than the last person. So even if you date somebody in the real life, the fantasy of this person may seem better than the reality of the person you really dealing with, not knowing all the baggage that comes with the person with the person that's the online persona. We see the bad bees, the IG models. We just see the fantasy. We don't know those people for real. And it's like, can you really deal with the reality of the person behind the facade of social media? And a lot of people do, emotional cheating. So they'll go online. You mad at your girl or mad at your dude, and now you online flirting with this person in their inbox to fulfill a quote unquote need. And then, you never know where conversations may go. Now you meet people and bringing them into your life. So I feel like technology is good for networking, and some people do meet their mates online, but we have to learn how to have self-control when it comes to having access to such an abundance of people.
Like, one thing that I think is a huge problem with social media is become a validation machine.
Wow.
It's like, if I'm not getting these amount of likes, if I'm not getting these amount of shares, if I don't have people in the comment section agreeing with what I'm saying, then what I'm saying must not be real. It must not be true. Even though the opposite of life has always been, usually the crowd that goes with everything is the one that's the sheep, and the one that has a brain of its own is the one looking back. Hold on, wait. This ain't right. But I would say social media serves a purpose, but I think with virtual reality, what is it, metaverse? It's getting weird out here. Okay, it's for sure getting weird, and people are their identity is through social media. Nothing wrong with making business, but it's like you got people out here that's, I just want to sell you this idea. I don't even stand behind what I'm actually saying. So it's so much of that. Like it's really another world, bro. If we're gonna be honest.
Yeah, it's another world.
Yeah. And I give my first controversial take. It's skewed one way. It's skewed towards women. Because
I agree with that part, though.
It went from you being in the neighborhood and 4 or 5 guys wanting to talk to you to now you on the internet and you might have 100 DMs a day.
A day?
It's possible for some.
My point is, I don't want us to move past that.
No. I disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah, because okay, you say it's towards women, but I think it's towards men. You know how many women we have to compete with?
Look,
it's all these women who half naked with the BBLs that everybody liking her page. We constantly feel like we gotta compete with it.
Copying and pasting. And I'm gonna give away some of these men's games. Some of y'all be copying and pasting, and then everybody inbox because
that's why
it worked.
So I'm gonna hit 45 girls up and see who holler.
I think it's a man's world. Man, it's a man's world because y'all get to look at all the good stuff that we got to figure out how to get there. And then, like you said, copy and paste. And y'all talking to everybody.
Who you think get more attention on social media? Me and
the women with the BBA.
It don't matter what they got. It don't matter what they got.
We talking about the regular women.
Bro, regular women get more.
They get more attention than the regular man.
If they hit up 45 girls, they hitting up an abundance of women.
But she worked for the library and she get more likes than he does.
Exactly. And the difference is he might hit up 45, but how many gonna respond?
Come on, Ted.
Come on, Ted.
Right.
all men
That's
do.
how we gotta play. It's a numbers game.
The probability of 2 women.
If you bat 300 in
We talk
baseball,
about
you doing great.
probability.
Exactly. So that's why he got to do 45. Where if you involve 45 men, 45 of them probably gonna hit you back.
Good 30 ready to drop it off
Right now, they're married, single, divorced. It don't matter. They gonna do it.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Thanks. That's a fact. Thank you for proving my point. I agree.
Preach it, Doc.
Uh-oh. It's the truth.
We cooking with grease now. Crisco.
Okay, so next question. Can you share examples of healthy sacrifices made in a relationship and how they contribute to long-term success?
Come on, Ted.
Me as a married man having to sacrifice my ego sometimes. Number one, my wife is way more financially responsible than I am. But the world will tell you the man got to handle the bills, he got to take care of this, pay all this. But if I know my wife is better at it, I should pass that along to her because we should be building off our strengths, not just because my ego tells me that I got to do it. So it just be stuff like that, especially when you a married couple that you might be better at cooking. The world tell me that you got to cook, but if it work in our house, we got to do what we got to do. So for me, it'll be ego.
Well, me and Jeff, we've only been married, I say for a short time, everybody say a long time. But we've been through everything that you can think of. We've been through job loss. We've been through
That's a big one right
surgeries, deaths in the families, us having to pay for those deaths in the family. We've been through I changed my mind about working. You gonna work this time? Like we've made that sacrifice where it's like it's on you this time. It's on you this time. And like she said, when you know this is who you want to be with, when y'all truly in love, that sacrifice to do anything, it don't matter what it is. So you just got to be ready for it. We even live with in-laws. Y'all know how hard that is to live with your in-laws and still stay married.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Jesus is involved.
Yeah,
come on in there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, husband, what's up?
What up?
We might.
I ain't put myself on camera. You just hear me. But living with in-laws, like I said, they were probably one of the hardest things throughout this. I was like, man, you want me to move with your granddad?
And my father, who was a drug addict. So
Man, look.
God damn.
Yeah,
That was one of the hardest things. But when I went there and I was there throughout it mostly, it was good. We was able to do everything we wanted to, and we had a terrible sacrifice that happened in that time. But it helped us
get through.
It helped us build to where we at now to see where we want to go to even more so.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And with me too, with like you said, ego, I'm still learning to deal with some.
That's rough.
That's
our thing right there.
And with it, I'm trying to see how I can do this because I know I'm live.
And your wife right here.
You gotta walk it back. Don't say it.
You know what? Never mind.
Right.
If she come out camera, then y'all know y'all need to call police. But having to deal with other people that you got to deal with in a situation when it comes to kids. That's a terrible thing.
Jesus
and I feel
Christ,
like
I know. Ooh.
The men that go through that don't get no respect at all. Like you telling me I'm trying to be this when you trying to be there with somebody else possibly, or you got to be that and that you got to be a dad here and a dad there, which is twice as hard on me than me. So now, like stepdads, they don't get respect at all. Leave it on it.
The good one.
Hold on.
Give it up. It's true.
I think he does. He just need to open his eyes a little bit wider. My family know. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I can say that my
Ooh,
family don't.
Wow.
I gotta speak to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta speak to that because I'm a man that's divorced and has a girl, a daughter, an 8-year-old daughter, and another man has stepped into her life. Right now, on one end, I do agree from a general perspective that stepdads don't get enough respect. However, there are stepfathers that step in that place that think because you with the mama that you more of a father than I am, and I disagree because there is nothing that I won't do for my daughter. There is no amount of money that I won't pay towards my daughter, even though I'm not in the house. I don't look. There is a sacrifice that has to be made because I'm not in the house. However, that if I don't do something right, you ain't talking about what the stepdad did wrong. You're talking about you're talking about what I did wrong. So he's not included in that conversation. So if we're gonna be honest about it, the problem is that we're doing things in our community that is unnatural.
Correct.
Too many of us are having children in bad situations or not doing the right thing. So it puts the men, honestly, I've had a physical altercation with the stepdad because of these type of situations, because it's honestly, I truly believe it's not natural. We do what we have to do when we're in the situation. Yeah. But if we would do from the beginning, we would be more responsible with our body. Exactly. Correct. We wouldn't be in these positions. Yep. So it's a little sticky, but I've been a stepdad figure before. So that's why I can understand both sides. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
But you're talking from the perspective of a father that's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So I think that's the biggest difference of it all together.
It's when somebody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
My only point was that when you are, it's an inconvenience.
We got so many extra topics to talk about, y'all. We're gonna do this more and more.
Okay, so the daddy one will be.
We're gonna do another topic. We're gonna do that on another show.
This seems like this.
That was caliente.
Yeah, because that needs to be talked about. We're trying to change our community and change our world because it is a lot of stuff we're not doing right. And if you work out of the realm of of doing things the right way, of course you're gonna have some problems. But we don't expect the problem to be so big. And then we sit back and be like, why me? You did this. We did this.
Right. Whew, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. I like this.
Never put a copy.
I respect where Jeff came from.
Yeah.
That are trying to. You got some that are trying to, but are not able to because of
Right.
There's that them.
Yeah, not them.
Ones that just you don't see, you don't hear from them. They want to
and think you're gonna come in and run something when you want to. Right. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't see both sides.
That's a different conversation.
I just seen both sides.
Yeah, that's big. Y'all stay tuned because we got some.
We definitely got to run that one back.
Man.
So.
Okay, let's see where we at. What advice do you have for maintaining passion and intimacy in a long-term relationship beyond the initial stages of infatuation?
The honeymoon stage.
All I can say is I like my husband. Like I tell everybody, my sister, I would talk to her about me and his problems, and she'll say, well, you the one who wanted to get married so fast. And I'd be like, you right, because as soon as that boy touched my fingertips, I forget everything, so.
Come on, Jeff.
He touched my fingertip, baby. I ain't even mad no more. But that's the thing. We liked each other. It was like that from the beginning. And even now, like when we mad at each other, we just have that for each other. And I don't know if it goes away, but that's one thing that I pray about. I pray to the Lord that we always have passion in our relationship, because if you don't have it, I think that's an element of their relationships that it helps the communications. It helps me tell you that although I'm mad at you, I'm gonna give you myself in a way to let you know that I still love you. Because it's a difference between making love, having sex, and and smashing.
I know what you was gonna say.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's where it comes into play. Is if y'all got that fire for each other. And I don't know how he feel about me, baby, but I got that fire for him. It burns deeply.
All right. Okay. As far as what can you ask the question again?
What advice do you have for maintaining passion and intimacy in a long-term relationship beyond the initial stages of infatuation?
Advice, once again, communication. Know who you dealing with. If you know you got somebody that ain't as sexual as you are, y'all need to have that conversation. Make sure you talk about it, as well as make sure that y'all compatible passion-wise. Because some people do some crazy stuff. Right, and I'm more conservative, so I ain't buying no swing. I'm not hanging you off. I ain't hanging you off the ceiling fan. So make sure that you compatible when it comes to being sexually active and passionate with each other, and make sure that fire never go out. It's always way to spice things up. So if you feel like it's getting dull, do what you can to spice it up. Make sure that your partner is willing to do it as well. Because if you the one forcing it, it ain't gonna work.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you about learning each other's love language, but also, like he just said, compatibility in the initial stages, because a lot of people, as I stated previously, will show you their representative. So in the representative phase, it's like, ooh, I love this person. They're amazing. They this and that. And then it's like they're acting what purpose. And I've seen women, and I hate to throw us as women under the bus. Some of us as women do it too. We'll act like, okay, I'm gonna act like this for the ring.
She gonna bounce that ass. She was bouncing it the first few months.
Okay, baby, can we chill on that? Now he like,
If I take away this provision, you gonna be mad.
You gotta read the fine print. So I got a little difference of opinion, right? So I think that the fire personally can't always be 98.7 degrees.
That's right.
Like sometimes personal, I'll say I'm divorced, right? But I remember after we had our child, how that fire was just different. Like she wasn't confident in herself like that. She had stretch marks, but she never had them before. And I tried to, I like a tiger, I like a mark. Right. That sounded good, you know what I'm saying? But she still struggled with how she looked physically. So I did what I could to make her feel better about those things. But there are parts in that relationship. If you're talking long term, we were together 10 years. So I went through we come through the door, shit on. You know what I'm saying? So we come through the door and she go in another room and I go in another one because I really don't even want to deal with her ass right now. And vice versa. I'm tough to deal with for sure. But I think that, like Ted said, and really all y'all said it, is communicating. Like actually having effective communication, truthful communication, because people want to talk about how they feel on its own. Like, no, it has to be a 360 effect. It has to be everybody honestly putting it out on the table, even if it's ugly. When I almost cheated one time, right? And I told her that I was having lustful thoughts about other women. Like I told her this. Right. Now that threw her off.
That's some grown man shit.
But when I told her that, it was like, damn. It put her in a position where the honesty kind of forced her to be a better wife.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I understand that we want the fire, but the fire need logs, gasoline, poking at the joint.
Facts.
It takes work to build that fire. That's all I was wanting to say.
Good job. I like it.
Yeah.
Come on.
The only issue with that is the audience might not hear you because we live. That's why we're trying to get people to the mic.
Wait,
Step into the mic.
Just
yeah, I
real
have
quick.
to put you on the camera.
Okay, yeah, because I ain't got to be on camera.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say for me, it's the little thing.
Yeah.
And what I mean by the little things, like if I'm in the shower and I'm showering, my husband comes in and wash my bed.
Yeah.
You know, he see me changing the sheets on the bed. He get on the other side. He help me.
Okay.
I'm up in the morning, running late, trying to make sure I got this, I got that. Car already outside warming up.
Yeah.
He got my cup with my ice. Here you go. Just the little stuff.
Know
like
what
that.
you want.
Exactly. That's all I want to say.
Okay.
Girl, you naming all that, you know, that's a turn on. Like, ooh,
So
yeah.
Stir that pot. Okay. We getting somewhere.
And then the funny thing about it, people think that it takes extravagant stuff. It's small stuff
Right.
Nah.
Right. I
that
agree.
can make making a person's life easier just by existing.
Yeah.
Because then when you're not so tired, you'll feel like you're burning passion
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so tired.
The
You're
big,
not so tired, right?
the big stuff scare me. When you come in with something real big, just out of nowhere,
Real
I'm
big,
like,
you say.
I'm saying like
I'm
with a big extravagant
extends, then.
gift. Like if you bring it in like a big diamond necklace, I'm gonna be like, what you done did? Like you done cheated on me? Like what's going on? This you just gave me this out the blue.
Is
That's
that a-
kind of scary.
Is that a trauma response?
Right.
It's a trauma
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I can't just
It's
be
one
like,
of the things, here you go with a big old
I just got a bonus at the job. And that
You gotta
necklace,
explain yourself.
you
That's
wanted
why,
it.
Yeah,
but
let
if
me
you're
know.
communicating, then you've already called me on the phone and say,
I got
got a
bonus.
bonus.
Exactly.
But that take away, hold on, nah.
Surprise.
That take away the element of surprise.
Well, make sure when you come in with the roses, you like, baby, I got a raise. Okay.
Don't make no sense.
Fine. Okay, let's see where we at.
Trauma.
Maybe.
How do cultural and societal expectations influence the way people approach love, lust, and sacrifice in relationships?
Oh Lord, have mercy. Let me be honest. Like, you know, me and Tez are in a space on YouTube. Well, we were in a space on YouTube where the male perspective was more dominant, right? And though I feel like that was necessary, it still has to be regulated. And it got to a point where, you know, if she ain't got a workout plan at ATC Fitness, if she ain't got less than a one child, if she ain't 145 pounds, like that got overrepresented. And I understand preferences, but when we talking about reality, it's almost like what you talked about with social media. When you look at relationships, it's always this woman with this perfect ass and this nigga with abs and a perfect bald head. Some of us got meat in the back of the head, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's this representative, right? That gets shown, and we don't really look at the reality of what relationships actually are. Relationships are not, well, I won't settle for this. Sometimes you meet this person that wasn't having this, but this is what I really need. You know what I'm saying? This woman right here feeds my mental. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm an ass man, right? If she got a little less ass, but a little more class, I might work with her quite fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll just work. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah.
And I quote.
Yeah, piggybacking off what CJ said, you know, a lot of the times you can be polluted by a lot of the stuff that you hear and see.
Right.
And, you know, it's easy to fall into that. You know, you see the BBLs, like Keisha was saying, you see the woman with the perfect body, but your woman might not have the perfect body. Right. Your man might not be 6'3". Right. He might be 5'8". Right. Come on. You got to deal with that.
Come on now.
Because if he takes, let's say this, if he check 8 of the 10 boxes, is you gonna get rid of them because of the 2?
Yeah.
Ooh, shit.
That's the problem with what we look for now. Society tell you your person gotta have all 10 boxes. But in that person eye, do you check all 10 boxes?
And I hate the phrase like, I won't settle.
Right.
Everybody does.
Everybody settles.
Everybody does.
Because he might be 6'3", but he might be terrible in the bed. Then what?
See? Look, you heard it. Look, the quiet.
And you got here.
You ain't Jesus as a husband, you settle.
Exactly.
That's the perfect man.
Well, yeah. But like, and then I think we have moved from what culture has told us marriage or relationship supposed to be. It's supposed to be two people uniting to make themselves and the world a better place. And we quickly forget that it's more like, what can you do for me instead of how can we do something for each other to make what we got going on inside this house better? And then how can we take what we got going on and influence the people on the outside to live their lives better? Everybody's so focused on me. And then once they get married, it's us and this family. But you are made to help people, period. You were created to help people of the world, not just yourself and what you have going on in your circle. So everything you're supposed to think about as a culture is how can we better ourselves to better this household, to make better people, to go outside of this household to make the world better.
It's bigger than ourselves. Come on in there, boss.
No, hang on, go.
Nobody wants to be on camera.
I'm gonna turn that camera off.
But I think you turn it on. It don't matter. But I think
the audio.
Society camera on. Huh?
The audio going through.
Oh, okay.
I think society messages has changed.
Okay.
You know, it's no longer about what we could do together, what we could build together. It's how do we keep separated.
Yeah.
So we live in a society, and y'all talked about it from the physical aspect, but break it down real quick from the emotional and mental aspect. We live in a society that is unhealthy and toxic is the norm. When you
that's the best relationship now.
But so when you are genuine, when you are kind-hearted, that's the abnormal.
Right. Yep.
So now that becomes unbelievable. I don't believe you. When a man steps to a woman and he's genuine and he say, "Hey, I just want to put a smile on your face." Why do you want to put a smile on my face? Why do I need to be smiling?
Right.
Why you want me to smile?
Yeah, bro. To his point though, because I've come to this realization in the last year that the women, from a man's perspective, the women that are like, y'all keep giving the attention to the women that ain't trying to be the women of yesteryear, or the women that are really trying to build a family. And you just saying that just kind of makes me think like, that's true. Men think, well, attention don't matter. That's just a like button, baby. That don't really mean too much. But it's like, no, she wants the like button. Like, she needs to feel that from a man. And the perspective of today's woman, or at least the commercialization of the woman today, is the Meg the Stallions or the Cardi B's. And it's like, wait, I don't represent that. Your wife don't represent that. So are you more into that, or are you more into your wife? But
the mental aspect all women represent is that independence. I don't need a man.
Oh shit.
All right. Okay.
So what I keep saying is society is telling us subconsciously, in our face, direct and indirect, that men and women don't need to be together.
That's what they tell us.
And that's why, from my experience, this is just my experience. I ain't talking about all women, most women. I'm talking about my experience.
Oh, you've been in this space for long. I see it now.
Some women don't want to be in a relationship. They want to have companionship. They want to be able to call you when they want to go out, to have sex, to whatever.
Like men too.
But the work that has to be put in, they ain't ready for that. Because and one thing I do understand, and my empathy is with women. I know women are tired. Women are tired because they had to get so much education. They had to work. They have to take care of family. They have to do all this. So when you get with a man who's emotionally responsible, emotionally intelligent, and you got to do some more work, you like, no, I don't.
Because you feel like
I'd rather go pick Dumbo.
Wow.
Where I can point out his flaws and he has to do the majority of the work in a relationship.
It's easy.
Instead of the self-accountability and self-responsibility on me. I'm done.
Quick drive-by with 100 rounds. Okay.
He spoke a word because I can kind of attest to it. I'm not really an emotional person. I'm not I guess I'm emotionally intelligent, but I'm not a shower of emotions, and I don't process emotions like everybody else do. I'm not a psychopath, don't y'all say that. But my husband does. And so I had to remember what kind of lifestyle that he grew up in versus what kind of lifestyle that I grew up in. So he has all the qualities that I would like in a man, in a husband. But when it came to that emotional part, it's like, am I ready to do that? Can I handle that? And I really believe, he was given to me by God, because My son is emotional. My daughter is emotional. My husband is emotional. I'm the only person in the house talking like a thug. So therefore, that lets me know it's time for me. But it's time for me to be able to
Emotions show
that to
differently
people.
now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Like
You're not expressive.
No, I'm not expressive.
yeah, you're not expressive as far as tears and things like that, but acts of kindness, you are an acts of kindness person. Like when we went to the like I had an event and Daphne, we got locked out. Keisha's like, come on. You get what I'm saying? So although you aren't emotional through tears, you are a very like I haven't even known her that long, but I know you're a very kind-hearted and caring person, not through your tears, but through your actions. Who you are as a person illuminates that. Like you always trying to help somebody. So you know it doesn't have to show through tears. Because some people you can cry all day and do people wrong.
Right.
But she is a kind part, like in
Hold
her
on.
core.
Can you say that again?
You cry. Did touch you and now
I'm sorry, I said it on you. I'm sorry.
The tears don't mean nothing.
Right.
At your core, who are you shows through your actions. And even though you aren't emotional through tears, it's like, girl, come on over here. I got you. Even with this event, she was like, oh, I'm on board.
Yeah.
Somebody else could have been a crybaby and still said no, or casually been like, I ain't doing it.
But I do want to be more expressive. I want to give y'all hugs.
You do express it.
Yeah.
We in the studio.
What he was saying is the Russell Wilson.
Uh-oh.
Brother.
Go ahead.
God damn.
What he was saying, the guest that came on, that's a Russell Wilson future conversation.
Yeah.
And the piggyback, what he was saying, what Granny always say, Jesus what?
What?
Granny, what she say about Jesus?
I don't know what she be saying. Her husband.
Damn.
Jesus, her husband.
Why?
Yeah, she say men ain't good but for two things. My grandma, she rough.
Savage. Gangster.
Yeah, two things.
Yeah.
Good.
We're gonna take an intermission in probably like 10 minutes. So
Okay.
We might
What
be.
were we on?
I'm about to say we might be done with all the questions.
Nah, we still got plenty more to fill up an hour.
Can I speak to the emotional part?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's something I lacked early on because I was single mother raised, and that has a negative connotation in some circles, and I think it has negative and positive. But that man of the house syndrome for them young black boys, right? I kind of had to be at least show that I was stronger than I actually was. Like I had to hide my emotions because if I cried, my sister would cry more. My mother would cry more. So I have just come into this emotional intelligence. Because at first when I heard the phrase emotional intelligence, I'm like, get that suck ass shit out of here. But it's like it's necessary because it's like that's the sacrifice.
Yeah.
We can't be selfish in thinking that the way we view the world is the way the world is for everybody else. And that was hard for me to accept because it's like, I know this makes sense to me. Why don't it make sense to thee? You dig what I'm saying? So it's a process, but that's emotional intelligence is something we need to cover more, and not just from a perspective that a man is lacking it and a woman has it. It's like, no.
You just figured out I was lacking it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump back too because I think I'm the only person that didn't answer it.
Okay.
We talked about how do cultural and societal expectations influence the way people approach love, lust, and sacrifice in relationships. I kind of think it jumps back to because social media is so prevalent in today's society. And I'm in my 30s and I know like the kids, I feel for them because social media is like Krishan Rock getting this man tattooed on the side of her face.
Please don't start.
Right.
All the drama, the trauma, the chaos, they see that all the time, especially if you don't have, everybody.
And it's monetized.
Yeah, and it's monetized and everybody doesn't have active parenting.
Right.
And from because I'm a mass comm major, like I went to school for mass communication. So a lot of times I feel like this stuff is marketing tactics in order for but everybody else sees it as this is their reality. So if you're on social media all the time, all you're doing is absorbing. And I'm not knocking anybody hustle. We got people like, if y'all go on YouTube, like Shara, y'all know who Shara is. She's like,
Shara
she like sprinkle, and she gives you tips on how to not show no love but get money out of men. Then you got these men.
Ain't too far off. Yeah, you know what that is.
But no, she's not far off. But that shows you how she speaks and men speak to today's society in those conversations. Not to say it's divisive, but if this is, people are online seeking, okay, this is how you get over on a man, or this is how you get over on a woman, and nobody's really seeking, okay, how to love. Like that's the majority rule. So you don't even know what people, because everybody's not going to open up like, man, I ride with Kevin Samuels, I ride with Shara. So you can get into situations where you're not even knowing who a person really is until you may be down the rabbit hole. You may already be like, man, I really like them, but
you be sick by that time.
You don't really know. Like the art of manipulation is rampant, and people don't care about feelings anymore. Even the music, like the City Girls got a song called "How to Pimp a."
Yeah.
And they tell you don't fall in love, just get this man's money. And we looking at it like, I told y'all I'm 30, but you got to think there's 20-year-olds, there's teenagers with these mindsets already. And some people are into pedophiles.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. We got pedophiles out here who these little young girls may be getting a few dollars from, and they doing whatever. Like, you don't know who's, it's sad to say, but we're affected. But these kids, this is their reality. This is all they know. This is their world.
Yeah.
They grow up on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram. That's their world.
Yeah.
So toxicity and using, and I'm gonna get over on you before you get over on me.
It's normalized.
It's normal. It's extremely normal. And it's even normal to, I interviewed someone and they were like, this man told them, man, I'm broken because he didn't want to get in a relationship. This man, 50, 60 years old.
Wow.
So it's the impact of social media goes beyond, like, it's become a way for people to not feel anything, because now people are like, I'm scared to feel.
And justified.
Justifying not being able to. People don't want to feel anymore because it hurts.
You see a lot of those posts of people saying, I'm not, being a kind person don't get you nothing. It was never intended to get you anything.
Right.
But social media, it's like it's people on here, going to therapy on Facebook. Going to therapy on Instagram. And I don't think that's all the way negative, but majority it is, because you got so many people on here don't have any expertise, haven't had any experience, don't know anything of what they're talking about, but they can articulate a point to sound good, and they don't even know what the
How
fuck
you gonna sell me a fat loss pill and you still fat? So people don't even think about stuff like this. You want to tell me how to be married, but you still single. You want to and you ain't, or either you want to tell me how to have a happy marriage, and you over there saying with your husband. And people just take advice from anybody. You don't know what these people doing behind closed doors. They sick, sad, and disgusted. While trying to give you advice, tell me what not to do, and then I can decide whether or not I do that. Whatever you telling me. But we just want somebody to directly tell this what you do. No, I don't want it.
And the thing about social media is everybody has an audience. Everybody, I'm a certified life coach out. Everybody's not looking for a solution. Some people are just looking for somebody to validate them, whether it be good or bad. So like, if I'm mad, let's say somebody's married and they're mad at their husband, and somebody being like, yeah, he a narcissist. He may have narcissistic behavior and not be a narcissist, but they reading up on narcissism, and now you mad at this person. Now now you liking all the statuses that agree with what
don't even know how to interpret it.
And you don't even know, but it makes you feel good in that moment because somebody's validating how you feel instantaneous. You ain't even got
dopamine hit.
Yeah, you ain't even gotta wait. Yeah, likes send off dopamine. Like I did research on that too. Even those likes get dopamine here. So you feel like, man, he wrong for that. And people like, yeah, girl, he wrong. Like immediately you feeling like I'm right.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that, or you even posting pictures online, you like, he or she made me mad. I'm finna post this picture. I'm outside. Now everybody liking your picture. So there's become a disconnect between you and the person you're dating because society pushes social media on us.
Can't compete with that.
Yeah, you can't. It's hard to compete with something that's always there, even when your mate is not.
On that note, I think we should
time for break.
Yeah.
Well, we go ahead and go for break right now. Okay. Y'all stay tuned. We just gonna,
got a few more questions.
Take a little break, a little intermission, and we'll be back.
Okay.
Hold on, babe. Just take us off stage. Don't end the live.
So did y'all want to reintroduce yourselves for people that are new to the live, or y'all just want to go straight into the question?
Watch part 1.
Yeah, watch.
I'm gonna plug mine again. So if you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe to Dear Shamika the podcast. Dear Shamika is DearShamica. We are about bossing up mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. And now that I've gotten that out the way, we're going to get back into these questions. In your opinion, and y'all have touched on this. Oh,
no.
Okay. In your opinion, how important is effective communication in addressing the challenges that arise in a romantic relationship? I know we kind of briefly touched on it, but now we're going to elaborate on it.
How important is?
Number 1. That's simple.
Yeah, if you ain't got communication, you can't do nothing. You can't flow good. You can't work out nothing. And then if nobody knows there's a problem, then the whole relationship will break down. So communication has to be number 1, good or bad. And you have to be comfortable. One thing about communication, you have to make sure that you let your significant other be safe when they communicate things to you.
Yes, sir.
So, like, if they say something to you, don't always be offended. Listen to what they're saying. Repeat what you think you hear, because what you hear may not always be what they're saying. And then let them elaborate so you can fix the situation. Communication is not just me yelling and telling you something wrong. It's me trying to help you understand that I'm having an issue. How can we fix it together?
I want to speak to that a little bit. From a male's perspective, I believe that we're in this weird space where a man being vulnerable is quote unquote celebrated, but the vibe and the energy that comes from when we do it seems as if we're just being tolerated. It seems as if we still expect us to be Superman, but when we come down to Clark Kent, they want us to put the uniform back on.
Fact.
Yeah.
And that's where I struggle, and that's why I sometimes feel, even I ain't gonna lie, I majority feel as if communicating my feelings, which might not be super logical, I'd rather not do it because of the consequences that come behind it. So effective communication is so important, and I think a big part of it is truly listening. Listening, even if you don't like it, listening.
Facts.
And I think effective communication is hearing a person despite whether you agree or not, and also listening to hear and not to respond. A lot of times we will shut down and we will block out what that person is saying because we're waiting on our turn to say what we have to say.
Yeah.
And if you're just listening for your chance to say what you have to say, then you're not truly hearing. No problem. Then you're not truly hearing your partner. So I think that we have to learn that just because we don't necessarily agree with the person doesn't mean we have the right to not allow them to be heard and process what they're saying in order to make necessary adjustments to make things work. So listening and actually processing giving the information time to actually process is effective communication. It's not just listening to respond, it's listening to come to a common ground of understanding.
Fact. Yeah. Just to piggyback on what everybody said, everybody made great points. And that's why I said communication number 1. I don't care what else list you try to make up, you try to put up. If communication ain't number 1 on that list, it ain't gonna last too long. You know, listening, like you said, receiving the information instead of wanting to respond. And once again, that for me, that is something that's tough because, you know, I think I'm quick on my feet.
You be ready.
I think I got the answers to everything. So sometimes it'd be hard for me to listen because I want to respond. But what I've learned, especially with being married, sometimes you don't need to answer. Sometimes you just need to be quiet.
Yes.
You know, sometimes your woman or your spouse, whoever, They just want it. They just want somebody to listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it does take time. It's not nothing that happens overnight, especially depending on the individual. So that's why I try to point the finger at me before I point it at everybody else. To say, hey, I have this problem. So if you got it, you might not feel bad to say, hey, I got this same problem to you. So yeah, communication got to be number one on the list. It's a must.
And you know what, y'all, and also knowing not how to not shut down when somebody's saying something you don't agree with.
Right.
Because a lot of times, just because you don't want to hear it doesn't mean you don't need to hear it.
Exactly.
I feel that a relational partner is somebody that's here to help and support you in becoming a better version of yourself. So that person is seeing you outside of how the world views you. They're seeing you outside of how you see yourself. They're getting a firsthand view of who you really are. They know the good and bad and all that's in between.
Yep.
So sometimes we have to shut off, I think somebody's talked about ego. We have to shut off our ego, shut off the social media praises, shut off the world view of, man, you so this and you so that, and really trust our partner. If you have a good partner, because sometimes people will, say things to hurt you, but when it's coming from a genuine place of love. So being open enough to say, I'm going to receive what they're saying so that I can become a better person for not just me, but for us.
That grass is greener mentality messes up a lot of people. Because, I've heard this, this person made me feel a way that you could not, but you didn't do to me. You didn't do to that person what you did to me. So you expecting her or him to have the same energy when you didn't cheat on them, or you didn't abuse them, or you didn't take from them. It's like, of course they're going to be a new, spicy new feeling because they don't know you.
Exactly.
They haven't been through anything with you. So you're really not in love with the person. You're in love with the fact that it's brand new.
The spark.
The spark.
Yeah.
That's that lust kicking in.
Yep.
You're in love with the newness of a person. Like reality says, saying, well, you have to deal with the reality of a person.
Right. Person that you already with, that's the word is real at, because they know.
Yeah, they know the real you.
Right.
Ash, you got something? Okay. Okay. Did everybody get a chance to answer that question about communication?
Yep.
Okay. Are there misconceptions about love and sacrifice that you think should be addressed or debunked?
Say that one more time.
Are there misconceptions about love and sacrifice that you think should be addressed or debunked? So do you feel like there are certain myths about what it means to make sacrifice that need to be challenged or that are not true?
Grace. This idea of grace. I think we got to be really careful with that, because some people be like, give this person grace because they didn't have this type of upbringing, or they don't understand this type of perspective. And I do think grace is necessary, but grace does not mean tolerate abuse. Grace does not mean you have to deal with everything that is uncomfortable for you because of this person doesn't have it together. Some people won't get it together. Okay. And take the time to actually understand the people you're dealing with. And society would tell us in so many different ways that we're wrong for having a standard. We're wrong for having a limit to what we can take. You know what I'm saying? And I want to just make that clear from, my point of view.
Yeah, to go off what you said on grace. I ain't trying to get spiritual, but like our pastor says, everybody say you got grace, grace, grace. But when you got to pay your bill, they give you a grace period, right?
Right.
So that means you only got a limited or a certain amount of time before you need to pay that debt. So when you're giving grace, even when we're giving grace from a higher power, that don't mean you get to do everything and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. Your grace is gonna run out. And I don't think people understand that you cannot treat a good person a bad way for a long time and think they're supposed to still sacrifice for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
So, once a person has decided I'm not doing it anymore, you have to allow that person to move on with themselves. And then as knowing who to sacrifice for. If that person is not willing to do what you're willing to do or go above, it's no point. It's no point, because it'll be a one-sided, sad relationship. sacrifice is it should always be as equal as possible. It's certain things that my husband feels like I may not sacrifice when it comes to his side of the family, but that he can ask me anything and he don't even have to think twice about it. If you need to do it for your folks, do it. If you need to do something for somebody else and you say you feel like, or you know this is what you want to do it.
I would say a misconception about love is people think it's always gonna be sunshines and rainbows, and it ain't gonna be that.
Come on, man.
You know, love is one of the things that it go hand in hand with sacrifice. And I think that's the reason why you kind of put it in there, because them two things are the same with a different spelling. Because you can't. I don't believe it's possible to love somebody without sacrificing something for them. Whether it's time, whether it's other men or friendships. Sometimes sacrifice is necessary in order to grow certain things. So we have to get out of our minds that love is just this happy, joy 24/7, because it's not. Sometimes it's gonna be tough. Sometimes y'all might have to cry, or you might cry by yourself. But the goal is to get to a point to where, hey, this love is so strong that it brings us past all of this other stuff.
Because turmoil is coming.
No way around.
Like, that's what we do know. Like, if you save for a rainy day because you know a rainy day coming.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to be with somebody that you're comfortable. And another thing, I don't believe in like equality. I don't believe in 50-50.
Exactly.
It's never that.
Never.
It's sometimes you can be in a situation where you taking 70 and you like, damn, like why this man or this woman only doing 30? But that's just for now.
That's for now.
That's just for now. Like with me co-parenting, right? One of the things that I had to understand, because there's some things I could have done better. But what I had to understand was like, just because in this moment I feel like I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get, doesn't mean down the line that I'm gonna take more than I want to take. And I'm literally in that position now. It's we get so fixated on right now or how we feel right now. And it's like you can't do that if you expect to be with somebody for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And I feel like love isn't pushed as much as lust.
No,
That's true.
For sure.
We push lust is in our faces all day. And we see it all day. So that's the only representation we really have. We don't really see what healthy love looks like. We just see the glamorization of love. I think somebody was saying we see these couples that look a certain way and drive certain cars and big houses and all of this. We just see the glitz and glamour. We don't see, somebody grandma dying and your mate got to cry, be there for you, or you in school and, whatever the case may be, like your car broke down. Now your mate got to be on the way because your problems are their problems. Or you sick and in the hospital and your mate is the first person getting that call and having to run to your rescue. Or even with the death, because death is something that's going to happen. So even with the grieving process of grieving a spouse, we don't see the good and bad and ups and downs of marriage or even loving somebody. We just see the instant gratification of the good parts. So a lot of times when the bad parts come, people be like, man, I ain't signed up for this because I didn't see, like nobody showed me, like Jeff and Keisha's, nobody told me we was going to be staying with the in-laws. I ain't signed up for that. Nobody told me your car was going to break down after you got off work. Now I got to come get you. I'm tired.
We're not celebrating the cake. We celebrating the icing. When you think about the majority of the cake is the cake. It ain't the icing, man. Uh-oh. Come on in.
You got something to say?
Yeah. All three to me intertwine equally. Because you can love and lust and sacrifice for your significant other. At the same time, if you don't love, you're not gonna sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice, you don't love. You're gonna either two or three. You gotta do all three.
Thanks.
Can I ask the ladies a question?
Okay.
There was a phrase that I've heard, and I've battled with this phrase. because it seems like 70% true to me and 30, I don't know. But the phrase men want to be needed, women want to be wanted. Do y'all agree with
I totally agree, because me as a woman, I know I'm needed. I know I'm needed in the male household. If it's a good man, I know I am needed as a woman to bring that feminine energy, to help take care of the children, to help do the stuff around the house. I'm good with that kind of gender role. So I know I am needed because of who I am. Now, versus being wanted, I would love for my husband, or I love for my husband to make me feel like I am very desirable to him. If he makes me feel like I'm of the utmost desirability to him, I'm good.
Do you think it's like a pecking order? Like you rather have more of the want or more of the need? Like
I want more of the want, because men need that. We need each other. But men will be more expressive about needing a woman. A woman will be less expressive about needing a man.
That's true.
And so it's getting to the point now, like even when I went to this concert and the guy was like, "Where my independent women at?" And I looked at my friend, I said, "Not I." And I don't ever want to do that again, because I do need my husband. And I think if he does not feel like I need him, I don't think he will be around. I've actually had a guy that told me, "You don't need me." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You got everything handled in your household. You don't need me." And I thought about it, I don't. So that was the end of that. So, you know, I know that he needs me to need him, and we do need him. If we didn't need him, no, I don't think he'll be there.
From my perspective, I think it depends on who you're asking. Some questions I think are gender neutral. So certain people may feel like I want to be needed, or, you know, at this point I need to feel needed because I'm not getting enough of that. Or at this point I need to feel desired because I'm not getting enough of that. If you're getting enough of one thing over the other, then you're going to, you know, as a human nature, you're going to want whichever thing you feel like you're not getting.
Oh, okay. So you feel like
from a human, from a human nature standpoint, kind of like a man who doesn't feel desired by his wife. Like, you know, we talked about sex and that being important to men. So some men may want to feel like, you know, she has me take out the trash. I feel like she needs me, or, you know, I take care of the mechanics. But somebody else may be like, man, we ain't had sex in 3 weeks. Like, what's going on? Like, why are you acting like this towards me? Like, has the attraction changed? Especially if things started off one way and then it just flipped. So I think ultimately it depends on the person. And like you guys said, that's why communication is so important, so that you know what page you and your mate specifically are on. Because a lot of times we'll assume, well, this is a man and this is what a man wants, or this is a woman and this is what a woman wants. And I think as individuals, depending on experience, depending on life, just life shaping and molding how we think, our needs and wants are going to change over time.
I want to just, before Tez responds, read the definition of need. It is to require something because it is essential or very important. Most people see need as I can't live without, or I would be nothing without, and that's literally not the definition of need. Go ahead.
The main thing I kind of wanted to say, you know, I can add to everybody's point, but even going to what Shamika was saying, you know, men had those same things, but I think we highlighted more on the women's side, because women are the ones leaving 70 to 80% of marriages. So that's why we highlight it sometimes, because most of the time men ain't leaving, regardless of if we feel needed or wanted or not. We be willing to stick it out most of the time. Now that's why I say everybody don't like stats, but they exist for a reason. So that's why when we talk about need and want, a lot of the time it caters more toward the women's side, because bro, we be willing to stick out a lot of stuff that we probably shouldn't. I ain't never been physically assaulted by a woman, but I know dudes that get smacked upside the head every day. And they gonna stick it out because they got kids with this woman. They love her. But if he sneezed towards her, she gone. So that's why we present this quick, and we do this a lot on our podcast because it's like, bro, I think a lot of the time we only see one side of the equation, and we got to be able to speak to both sometimes. So
I think you've seen everybody talked about it. The surgeons, the push and the new wave of male podcasts.
Yeah,
like it's going crazy out here, and a lot of people would address it as, I'm just tired of these niggas talking about women, and it's like, bro, I need people to understand, if you think about movies that you've watched, who's been the cheater more in the movies? Men. If you think about abusive, who's been more abusive in movies? Men.
Yeah.
You haven't heard the side of men that have gone through. Like, think about it. To call a man a victim don't even sound right.
Exactly. It seems weird.
It does. I can't even see myself as a victim of anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to be strong. So I think you have this resurgence of male podcasts, because I think now we're actually getting to a space of equality. Like it's happening. It's not there yet, but it's an instrument that needs to be sharpened, used better, because it's too much now. Like, don't get me wrong. You got too many. In my opinion, you got people like Fresh and Fit, that podcast that literally aim to tear women down.
Yeah.
But there is a difference between them and a guy like me and Tez the Five that are really just trying to get y'all to understand our perspective, because if you can somewhat understand it, we can get in a better relationship space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been good. It's been a good conversation. Man.
Real good. I'm liking it. Can you plug in her phone?
Need that phone low too.
Thank you to our production assistant. You know,
He's on top of it, man.
He's so good.
Okay, this is our last question. We had like 3 more, but I'm looking at, for the sake of time, I thought this was a good one.
Okay.
Because I'm looking in the room, it's a room full of ambitious people. So, one of my things is, like with the grind and the ambition and the time dedicated to the grind, how can one strike balance between personal goals and aspirations and the sacrifices required for a committed relationship?
Can you say that one more time, Swin?
How can someone have balance between their personal goals and aspirations, as well as the sacrifices in relationships? And I'll kind of go into detail about it. Like, for instance, let's say, like, when you on your grind, you on a mission, you like, I'm trying to build something, or maybe you have different goals than the person you're dating as far as professional goals. How do you balance your goals and really making sure that you're a dedicated partner and you're committed to that relationship, and that person doesn't feel like?
Well, as far as me, it's difficult. It's still something that I haven't figured out, and honestly, I don't think I get it right. Just because things change so much. I got a wife and 2 kids, so I might
Young
have
kids.
babies, 2-year-old and a 7-month-old. So for me, I work when I can. And, other than that, my wife also has to understand, if I got a goal to do something bigger than just working a 9 to 5 every day, I might need you to keep the baby for 2-3 hours while I'm doing the podcast or while I'm trying to network with other people. But that go back to what we talked about, communication and making sure y'all on the same page, because that work dynamic can destroy a relationship, because she might feel like you're not giving me enough time. Well, it's like, baby, I gotta do this in order for us to be here.
Yeah.
So you gotta understand, but I don't think, honestly, I don't know if we'll ever truly figure it out, because things are always changing. But I think our goal should be trying our best to make it tolerable for both people.
I'm gonna piggyback off him, because it's the opposite with me. I'm doing the 9 to 5 while she's doing the networking and the work.
Okay.
So it's hard to adjust when I'm like, hey, I got to be here. to be able to do this, so that you can do this.
Facts.
So people just gotta look at it like you
The
gotta go the
sacrifice.
sacrifice
Exactly.
of your goals, their goals, the family goals. You know, because you said 7.
2-year-old and a
7
7-month-old.
We ain't got that.
Yeah, y'all way past me. I'm a rookie in the game.
We passed it,
Yeah.
but that don't mean it ain't hard.
Yes,
still,
sir.
because
It's just different.
Because them sacrifices hit different.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in a relationship, you know, you're married.
Yeah. Because even with it, I don't know if y'all got daycare, but daycare's a motherfucker.
No, sir.
Don't I know it?
I'm lucky enough. We got both of grandmamas that's ready to watch. They can't wait.
That's a blessing.
Give me my baby.
Yeah, they love it.
What to say about the sacrifice? And I am a hustler. When I mean just a natural born hustler, I have worked 3 jobs. I have taken my son along with me on every job before. I'm gonna get it done. If I'm not just a regular 9-to-5 type of worker, I do it. But after a while, if you tell me to do something too many times or you try to micromanage me, I will leave fast. So it's in my best interest to always try to figure out how can I hustle? How can I make me some money on my own? So, and my thing is, if I'm working on a project, if I'm working on something, I'll be up to 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Like it'll all day, every day.
Yep.
But with being married, it's different now. My husband expects me to be at home by a certain time. My husband wants to, although he be knocked out, he swear he can't sleep comfortably without me in the bed.
Come on, Jeff. That's how you do this.
Nigga, reach over. Is that a pillow?
10:32. She's supposed to be here at 10:30 on the dot.
Uncomfortably, nothing like that for the first, I'm gonna say 4 years.
Really?
We've been together 5.5 years.
That's what's up. That's what's up,
What
bro.
y'all doing?
Exactly. Yep.
But that's a whole different look, because that speaks to being married to an entrepreneur. So that's a whole different type of sacrifice, because you have to also trust that they're doing, you know, like they doing the groundwork to put y'all in a better situation.
That's a fact.
Yes, sir.
And I think that comes with trust too. Jeff can tell me he finna go tightrope walk, butt naked.
You tightrope walk, Jeff?
I hope not naked.
Butt naked on the Empire State Building.
You gonna support it?
I'm gonna think that's what he doing. I'm gonna say it sounds crazy, don't it?
Yeah,
but
I'm
gonna say he did. That's what he doing. That's what he say he doing. That's what he doing.
That's his word.
So it comes with that trust too, and hopefully he has the same trust with me. And I know, being in the podcast industry, especially in Memphis, it's more male dominated.
Yeah.
And so I do spend a lot of time around other males, but I hope that, and he knows that I'm always focused on the goal of what is better for us as a family. And that's never on my mind. No, that's not on my mind. How can we get it together? And I don't think any of the guys or males that I've come in contact with have ever even presented themselves like that. And I'm so grateful for that. I've been, grateful to work with people who are business oriented. We worried about getting it. How can we better our community of podcasters, and how can we better this city? And so as long as I feel like I'm surrounding myself with those people too, I ask questions too. How do you balance it? How do you make sure that you make that person feel secure? Because I've never had to deal with it being married. Because when we first got married, I would do hair to like 11, 12 o'clock, and he'd be like, don't you ever have nobody at the house that long again.
Facts.
And I could think about it. Somebody in your house that late.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. So, I had to think about it. Yeah, that is. It may not mean nothing to me, but it means something to him. But I'm a hustler, baby, and I just got to figure out how to balance it. I don't think the balance is going to come until we strike it rich, until we can get a worker.
So for me, like, I did a short on Instagram not too long ago, and it was called "I'm Not Ready for My Wife."
Yeah, I saw it.
And like,
that's a good title.
Like, I don't want to be, and this is something me and Tez have had difference of opinions on. We don't really disagree on much, but where I was like, I believe that just from a man's perspective, you should have it together to an extent, to where not completely is impossible, but I think it's a percentage you should have it together.
Okay, percent.
So let's just say 60. Okay, 60% together, because the stress that it puts on your family. I've been through paying all the bills, working 3 jobs, trying to make it happen, and I'm still like, well, she like, well, you're not here enough. It's like, shit, I mean, the bills got to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So now that I've been through that, had a divorce, and that's not the only reason we divorced. There's definitely other reasons we won't get into today. But I got to a point where I realized, especially right now, I'm grinding, bro. Like it ain't too many nights I'm going to bed before 12 in the morning. And it's like, even though I know a woman be like, oh, I can deal with that, I know better. Just from my perspective, like even if it's one that can, in my mind, I know you can't, because I know, especially with a woman, you know what I'm saying, they get used to what I can, you know what I'm saying. You feel me? Like she gonna want that. She gonna want that affection, that attention, that masculinity that I bring to her, and I have to tone that down when I'm focused, and that's unfair. That's just how I look at it. Like it's unfair to her. So I believe when you enter a marriage in the perfect world, you would be balanced. You know what I'm saying? But that's in the perfect world. So I get it.
Yeah. But the cool thing about this last question is it's like the rules or guidelines slightly change when you're dealing with entrepreneurship.
That's a fact.
The time may not be there. It may not necessarily mean that they're cheating. They may just be laser focused. And we all know when you're dealing with the drama of, breakups hurt. So I kind of agree with you, because it's hard the balance is hard, because if you're laser focused, what if like you go through a breakup, now you got to deal with heartache. It's kind of easier to be by yourself and
replaying the moments.
Which you
and
now you got
work done.
He's out there show up to the podcast. I'm hurting right now. My stomach hurts.
Yeah, man.
They're gonna talk about love and sacrifice when I'm hurt.
I got COVID, cuz.
They're gonna be on the way.
It do be happening though. You be like, I ain't going nowhere.
I can't concentrate. My goals mean nothing right now.
Well, yeah, it is true. It's true.
Okay. Do we have any audience questions before we end this live, or did you guys want to add to it before we end?
Check the chat right quick.
Okay.
See what they're talking
on
about.
the chat, babe? Can you check the one on the computer too? Once you get through with them. I don't know. They just in there.
Just list.
Yeah. Can you check the computer? I ain't got my phone. Hey, everybody that's listening on the lives. Hey, y'all.
That's a bad, yeah.
What you live on, Shamika?
What's Shamika?
Facebook.
Which one? Shamika Meeks back?
Chats.
How many people are there? Okay.
Is it nuts?
It's probably none. I don't know.
What those are those
the little stars.
Okay. Yeah, this was good. We're gonna have to do this again.
So it was good.
Y'all make
next
sure.
time we charge.
Yeah. make sure y'all paying attention to what everybody got going on this platform, because I think we all doing big things. We all trying to we all making big moves. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe and listen to all our platforms. These are some good people. You can't say that too often, especially when you first meeting them.
That's true.
But everybody has come through. Even on the parts. Shamika wasn't even here with us for like 2 of the days that we set up, but she came through with these questions, baby. So, and even with the suggestion of doing this, and I'm glad that she decided to include me. And then when we got to talking, I was like, who are the perfect people? I got 2 perfect people. Let's call them and ask them. And I appreciate them coming aboard,
so,
in such short notice, so I'm always support y'all. So when y'all do something, y'all see me in the background, oh, she here again, it's gonna be me. Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Let me make it clear. We never like that's her again. We like, thank you for being here.
Thank you for the support. Whenever somebody show up for you, it's like, thanks.
Yeah.
So y'all can catch us on the 5100 podcast. That's THE space FYE 100 space podcast. You can catch my channel, the Pookie Hybrid, which is a funny name, right? It's basically saying I'm a cross between a hood nigga and like a worker nerd. Like I can kind of understand all circles of life type shit. And I'm also type shit, you know. Lion King, shout out to them for the original one. And I'm also a photographer and videographer. So vivid imagery and portraits if you're looking to get any video work done.
Professional,
You know,
y'all.
you feel me? Appreciate that. You feel what I'm saying? So check me out at VIP Portraits _ on Instagram.
Right.
You plug
my bad. I'm sorry. He just did the 5100, so I just do my channel. Tez the 5 the channel on YouTube. My socials is all Tez the 5 or either Tez the 5 _ 87. TEZDAFYE. And I'll be glad to have any support over there. I love the conversation. We love the conversation. So we looking to hear from y'all. We appreciate y'all tuning in to this live as well.
So shout out to again the ladies that got this going today. I appreciate y'all
for sure.
If y'all aren't doing anything from 6 to 9, meet me at Casa Library. So last year I won the Pod Box pitch competition, and I will be a guest speaker. It's a great way to collaborate. It's a great way to meet new podcasters and subscribe to new podcasts. And also, if you're a business owner, it's a great way to network, and you may end up on someone's show. So come out, support, show love. And somebody else has to win this year, so you may be winning and be on the radio, free radio airtime.
For sure.
And again, BTMBS for all your business needs. The name of my podcast is Bigger Than Memphis. So make sure y'all tune into that. And we just plan to do more shows. If you need some studio space, Bigger Than Me podcast and studio is available. So make sure you go online and check that out. I'm just here to help the entrepreneur. That's what my podcast is about, trying to get the word out, doing some networking without you having to go around and network to everybody. And I'm just trying to help my city grow. Let everybody everybody see that my city is not such a bad place. There's some beautiful things about Memphis.
Girl, we thugs out here.
Yeah, we thugs. We need some thug love. No, but it's some good people out here. So
sure.
Yeah, and I do appreciate y'all checking us out. Even if you're on the playback, make sure y'all stay tuned.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's it. You can end it over there, babe, on the computer.
It was good.
Thank you, producer.
I can't wait to chop this up into clips.
Yeah,